Let's go on ahead and let's discuss the Buffalo Bills and what we have learned from Bills camp at St. John Fisher. So, one thing I'll probably start off with, and what I've been focusing the most on with the Buffalo Bills, is this new transition to this brand new defensive scheme. We have transitioned not only our base defense, we're transitioning from a 4-3 to a 3-4, coming in the Jim Leonard type feel, but more importantly, this defensive scheme is also requiring a lot more of man coverage from our DBs. And obviously, within the first couple of days, we're learning a lot. We're figuring out some of the growing pains from some of our older players that are transitioning into the system, along with some of the rookies and new additions that have come in. And one thing I can say is how I look at this Buffalo Bills team, this offense was never an issue for me. No matter what you had to say about what the wide receiving core looked like in 2025 or 2024, this team always was top 3, top 5 in points per game. In my eyes, since Joe Brady is maintaining his play calling while being the head coach, I still see much of the same, especially with how DJ Moore has been looking. He has been looking as great as humanly advertised. I'm super excited to see what his season becomes. But the defense is what I need to see improved. Last year, the Buffalo Bills were 31st in the NFL for stopping the run, and they were 23rd at sacking the quarterback. I don't need this defense to be top 5 in either of those categories. What I need the Buffalo Bills defense to be is middle of the pack in both. So rather than 31st against the run, rather than 3rd against the run, I would feel optimistic if Buffalo is 15th through 17th in the NFL against the run, showing slight improvements. Same thing when it comes into finally getting to the quarterback. And I think we're starting to get signs. Pads went on yesterday. Full pads once again for day 2 is tomorrow, and we'll get better understanding of what the trenches look like. But as far as how some of these DBs are transitioning to like man coverage capabilities, with Max Harrison looks great. Thankfully, he will have a full season. Slept on candidate, slept on draftee Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina has really been a godsend to this organization. CJ Gardner-Johnson has looked incredible. He did end up going down with a lower calf strain. Thank God we avoided the worst when it came into a torn Achilles. But while healthy, while he was participating, I mean, he really brought the energy. Him and Cole Bishop are going to be a safety tandem that I can guarantee you will be put into a top 5 conversation by the end of the season. And just linebacker play, man. Like, what does this Caleb Alarms or look like out of TCU? He's already starting fights, like, with offensive linemen. He's bringing the energy. And, like, this old Sean McDermott Boy Scout, like, culture is number 1 is completely out the window at this point. And it's all about we're putting together the largest collection of good football players, high-energy football players, and that's what we're going to do. The biggest thing for Buffalo is just to fix that defense and not make them top 5, but make them more so middle of the pack, because it's my confidence in how this offense is operating. It has not changed. I still feel like this Bills team is going to put up points. As far as this offensive side of the football, like mentioned previously, with DJ Moore has been fantastic. His route running is just immaculate based off of the clips that I have seen, based off of what I have been hearing. He really was a steal for this organization, how we were able to pull that off for just a second-round pick. He's going to go over for 1,000 yards this year. That much I can tell you. With Shakir's looking fantastic. Same thing with Skylar Bell. He's looking pretty good too. Yeah, I'm excited. But more importantly, I do want to see what this defense looks like in the preseason. But, I mean, it's that time of the year. I'm optimistic for my Buffalo Bills, baby. We want to make sure that we grow our audience to new heights. So in order to help that, we are bribing each and every single one of you. Let me tell you what we are running over at Roundtable Sports for each and every single YouTube channel. We are giving away a copy of Madden 27 for each and every single YouTube channel in the network. In order to enter, it's very simple. You must be a subscriber to this YouTube channel, and you have to leave a comment of your favorite team once this live stream is over on this said video. Now, this is going to be announced in every single clip that comes from the AFC East Roundtable as well, so feel free to enter as many times as you would like. But next week's show, we will be picking one lucky fan to where we will be sending you off a digital copy of Madden 27. We cannot thank you enough for your continued support.
I feel like the mindset of Bills fans going into this season compared to like the last 3 seasons? What's the difference? Is it just because Joe Brady? Like the only thing that's new is Joe Brady, which is a really big deal, and then some minuscule, of course, roster adjustments. But hasn't been Super Bowl or bust in Buffalo Bills fans' brains for the last 4 years. Like, does this year feel that same energy, or is it different? Like, what's the pulse of the Buffalo Bills fan base going into this year, Dan?
It's kind of a difficult question because I feel like as a fan is desperate to like finally win a big one. I feel as long as you have Josh Allen as your quarterback on the roster, that is the expectation. Like you have to win the Super Bowl. Like we regularly hear like, like so many people saying, "Oh, like this team's so close on going on like a downward spiral." If your definition of a downward spiral is like not being a playoff team, right? And like not like always competing, then that's not going to happen until Josh Allen is no longer on this squad. But as far as me going out and saying, "Oh, I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to make the Super Bowl and win it this year," there's just way too many questions about what this defense is going to look like. Way too many questions about can we actually like play our game when it matters most in the divisional or the championship round. So far, it's proven that we have not been able to. So until proven otherwise, my expectations for this Buffalo Bills team is to, just make the playoffs and
I'm going to go out there on a limb and say something crazy.
Goes our way.
I'm going to say something crazy. It kind of contradicts what you were saying and what some Buffalo Bills fans may say. But this season for me, not the regular season, the playoffs, because we know the Bills are making the playoffs unless you're TD who says it every year and is always wrong. See, this is what happens every year. TD in August, Bills ain't making no playoffs. What was that, 5 years in a row, TD? They're making the playoffs. But the question with that, it's nobody else besides Josh Allen. He fumbled the bag in the biggest moment last year. And if Josh Allen plays to the level that we all know Josh Allen is capable of, you're right, Dan, you could be in the Super Bowl. You could freaking win the Super Bowl. Of course, you need your defense to get the stops in big moments. Of course, you need players around Josh Allen to help out. But after seeing what Josh Allen did 2 years ago in the playoffs where like he balled out and they lost, wasn't his fault, and then seeing him kind of just lay that egg with those turnovers in those big spots and then losing in that way, especially with the AFC as wide open as it'll ever be in the playoffs. No Mahomes, no Chiefs, no Ravens, no Lamar, no Bengals, nobody. It was Josh Allen's time, and he still couldn't do it.
Can we stop putting Lamar Jackson in this hypothetical? He is an awful playoff quarterback.
All right, then he's awful, but still, you didn't have to worry about anybody.
Hey, Mahomes and Burrow, and I'm fine with that.
Mahomes and Burrow, baby.
Lamar, stop saying Lamar in the playoffs because he and the Ravens are just as bad as the Buffalo Bills. Like when it comes into those big games in the playoffs, maybe worse.
You are right, but still, they are of course a name, a team, an MVP winning quarterback, and a team you must respect. But my point still stands. Last year was the Bills' time. Going into the playoffs, in my head, I'm like, man, that path is wide open. The Bills are actually gonna do it this year, man. But nope, it was the Patriots. Who would have thought? So we'll see who comes out of the AFC this year. But I definitely am high on the Buffalo Bills this season. I have them winning the division this year. Prize Picks is your official sponsor of the AFC East Roundtable. Let's make an AFC East Roundtable themed pick'em, baby. Let's go. What do you know? Prize Picks is your official sponsor of Roundtable Sports Network. Use code HMA. You use $5 on your first bet, and when you win, folks, they give you $150 right away. So there's no need to not sign up. They give you $150 when you win your first bet on Prize Picks. Use the code HMA. Legal in New York, in Florida, in every single, not every state, but all the massive states nationwide. Let's go into some AFC East players, starting with Drake May. 3,799.5 passing yards is your line for Drake May. More or less? How much did he have last year, Colby? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, I don't, but he had more than that, I believe. I'm going to actually go... So I'm going to go a little bit under this one, just very slightly, because I think they're going to run the football a lot this year. You look at what they did with that personnel, Reggie Gilliam, the offensive line. They wanted to run the football first last year, but they couldn't. I think this year they're going to want to really do that.
All right, so we're taking the less. Now we got Malik Willis's line is at 2,974.5 passing yards. TD.
Oh, no.
This is actually a steal. It's crazy to me, but I got him around 3,700 yards. I believe he's going to get this year. That's not much. That's not crazy. I mean,
3,700 is a very good season. That's a lot.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a really good season.
Okay, so more for that.
Absolutely.
So I will say about Willis, I do think that he will go over that. 3,700 is a bit much for me, but
3,599 for Josh Allen.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be really close. Give me more.
Bang.
Slightly though.
You think Malik Willis is being disrespected? Geno is being the most disrespected
No, he's not.
on this app because
Do they got interceptions for Geno on here?
2,599.5 yards. This man has had 4,000 yards. Okay, he's hit this number the last 4 years, by the way. So why do I think he's not going to hit this season? He had over 3,000 last year.
Wow.
Maybe
So as bad as Geno Smith is with turnovers, he gets yards. Okay, so if you want to bet the less on this, you're going to lose money. The only reason why this wouldn't hit is if he gets injured. Geno's smashed this the last 4 seasons he has been a starter in the NFL. 20 wins you 200 on Prize Picks for our AFC East quarterback passing yards picks. If you guys want to tell us, feel free. If not, make your own picks on Prize Picks.
so. Some of the things we've seen in training camp, like he is executing a lot of concepts, like just making sure a lot of guys are getting vertical. So we're going to see. Like, I really think that we're in for a show as far as what sort of Joe Brady offense we're going to see this year. I am willing to bet that it's not anywhere close to what he ran last year because of what McDermott like really wanted to install. But,
So TD's shaking his head since we started this Buffalo Bills with his smirks. TD, floor is yours. Your thoughts of the Bills going into the season?
Yeah, I don't know why we do this every year, man.
No, wait, before you go, we got to make a compilation of you talking about the Buffalo Bills every single year, saying they're going to miss the playoffs every single year.
I don't know why we do this every year, okay? So, first and foremost, I think me and all three of y'all and everybody watching right now can already eliminate the Super Bowl. Let's just get that out the way, okay? That ain't happening, all right? Number 2, I got to call you out, Richie.
What's that?
The disrespect to say you think the Buffalo Bills are going to win the division. The Bills will not be better than the Patriots for at least the next 5 years. At least. Like, they are not a better team. They are not a better team than the New England Patriots with Mike Vrabel, Drake May, the best quarterback in the division now. Well, until you know who come along. But anyway,
wait, you're contradicting
you got to
yourself.
stop this mess. No, you got to stop this mess. You got to give credit where it's due. The Buffalo Bills are not better than the New England Patriots. That's number 1. Number 2, the Bills got a lot of concerns. Let's not give them credit for stuff that ain't proven. They are literally switching their entire defensive identity. We don't know if the personnel fits it. We have no clue yet what this is going to look like making this transition. And then you got a new head coach who gets to do it his way now. Man, there's some questions here before we kind of like cement them and say, oh, we know they're going to make the playoffs. Hold on. First of all, if the Patriots win the division, and I'm only saying that because the Bills are not better than the Patriots. If the Patriots win the division, the Bills were the 6th seed last year. The AFC is getting tougher. I will put the Chargers this year with Mike McDaniel over there ahead of the Bills. So it's going to be a crapshoot in the AFC. It's not guaranteed that the Bills make the playoffs this year. And you know what? I'm not saying that they won't. But it's not a guarantee. It is tough in the AFC now. It's getting better and better. And all it takes is one of those tiebreaker situations. It's not a guarantee, Dan. You want to know why it's not a guarantee? You put too much faith on that one-man show over there in Buffalo with Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen, I'm a knock on wood because I never wish anything on player, but this man had all the fortune in the world as an NFL quarterback. I've never seen an NFL quarterback with so much fortune. Like, the man ain't ever got hurt. Like, all of this type of stuff. But Dan, you never know what can happen. So it's not guaranteed by far, but just to play on the field, it's some better teams than the Buffalo Bills in the AFC, and I believe there's 7 teams better than the Buffalo Bills going into this season.
So you have the Patriots finishing over the Bills. Does that mean you have the Patriots winning the division?
It's tough. It's tough, okay? Because it just depends on how the Dolphins come out the gate, okay?
It's nothing to do with the Dolphins. What do you mean? Well, Dan, I don't know if you remember our good friends last year over at RotoWire, but they are back, baby. RotoWire is here to make sure that we are dominating all football season long, man. I don't care if it's bragging rights. I don't care if you got money on the line. You are going to want to make sure that you dominate all of your fantasy leagues this year because let's be honest, none of us are in one fantasy league. We're all in at least 3 to 5 fantasy leagues. And right now, when you guys use the link in the bio, you use the code RTS, you are getting an absurd 25% off on your first month. You heard that right? 25% off. There's no better time to get in on it. You're looking at RotoWire here, man, and they got a lot of amazing features that are new here in 2026 compared to what we saw in 2025, all the way from advanced analytics to customize league settings to see expert rankings. You can build a draft plan. They also have a mock draft simulator so that you can practice before your big draft day comes up. They got My League Sync. They also have custom cheat sheets to go along with that. And they also have a mobile app right now. So for those of you who maybe don't love having to go online and looking up websites, you don't got to do that anymore. It's convenient for you to just click an app on your phone right now, my friends. And to go along with that, they also have really great in-season tools to make sure that you're not just dominating when you have to draft, but you are dominating all football season long to make sure that you do come out victorious. Your subscription is going to include waiver wire rankings that get updated weekly, trade analyzers, competitive insights, and draft scores. So if you guys want to make sure you are guaranteed to come out on top of your leagues this year, make sure you check out our good friends over at RotoWire, link in the description box below.
And a quick reminder, folks, you literally sync your league no matter what app you use, whether it's NFL, ESPN, CBS Fantasy, Sleeper, Yahoo, all these different fantasy leagues. This is not where you host your fantasy league. It's where you sync your league and you dominate your boys. I'm a champion. Not only did my Knicks win a championship, I also am looking at my fantasy football trophy on my shelf, and I got RotoWire to thank for that championship, baby.
Man. RotoWire, indeed, a giant shout out for being a proud partner to the boys.
So TD's brain has Dolphins winning, Patriots second, Bills third, Jets last. That's what TD's
you know what? I'm going to respect the AFC champs. The Patriots are on top of the mountain until they're kicked off. Let's call it what it is. And we're going to get into the Patriots, and I'll give my take then. But the Bills are not winning the AFC. I just don't see it. And they got the toughest schedule in the division probably.
Now, Colby, the Patriots stole the AFC East throne from the Bills, who had it 5 years straight, and then you actually took that AFC championship and made it into an AFC championship, but, of course, failed to bring home the Lombardi. How do you look at the Buffalo Bills after winning the division? Do you think they are going to be a better team than last year? How do you think they're going to look under Joe Brady?
I'm not going to lie. There's something that really annoys me with this whole Buffalo Bills situation. That's that everybody's acting like the Buffalo Bills are going to run this thing back like they've been doing every single year. Like the expectations for the Bills are the exact same thing like they've been every single year. But what we are not understanding is that this is a new era in Buffalo. You can't say both things at the same time. You can't put the same expectations that we've had on Buffalo for the last 5+ years, but then say it's a new era in Buffalo. It doesn't make sense. You can't say both things at the same time. I think, they're going to be an okay team. And I want to make this clear before I go any further. They're going to be fine. They have Josh Allen. They have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. They have one of the best running backs and rushing attacks in the NFL. So I don't see them all of a sudden becoming some 6-win team or something like that. They're going to be fine. But the X factor is Joe Brady, okay? It feels like they were done with the Sean McDermott era and they wanted to switch to something new and fresh. But they were a little bit scared of doing so. It's like when you're going to break up with your girlfriend, but you're not 100% sure if you want to do it or not, so you don't really break up, but it's a situationship, and that's what it feels like Buffalo's in right now. If you didn't want Sean McDermott, then you should have completely changed the philosophy and went with the guy that was not in his coaching tree and has his own dynamic. I don't know yet. And I'm not saying he can't be because we haven't seen it yet, but I don't know if Joe Brady has the voice yet to be able to come out and be a head coach and have what it takes to win in all three phases. And this is nothing against Buffalo. This is nothing against Joe Brady. It sincerely isn't. But we see that there are amazing coordinators who just can't be good head coaches. Josh McDaniels is easily one of the best offensive minds to ever do it in football, but he is such booty cheeks as a head coach. I mean, man, if we want to look at Mike McDaniels, another guy who's one of the most genius offensive coordinators in this league, but completely flamed out as a head coach. So what is Joe Brady going to be? We just don't know yet. And if he can't come in and really solidify himself as the voice and make this team believe in him and his vision, then it doesn't matter. Everybody wants to talk about, well, how did the Patriots go from nothing to something in 1 year? It was the culture. It was everybody was bought in. It's what they did behind the scenes. It wasn't the talent on the field. It wasn't some miraculous glory wish upon a star. It was what they built off the field that translated on. And if Joe Brady can't do that, then Buffalo is going to take a step back. And so for me, he's the X factor that I just have to see how things plan out.
There's one thing I will add right before we transition over to the Patriots is, like, when I think of the Josh McDaniels, like when I think of Mike McDaniel, right? Like both of them ended up going into situations where the quarterback wasn't figured out.
Yeah.
Neither of those head coaches ever walked into a position where they had like literally a top three, a number one quarterback rate in the NFL, like ready to go. Hey, look, he's the number one quarterback in the NFL on many lists right now. Not me saying this. Look at any quarterback ranking list, and Josh is number one on several of them. But Colby, what I will say, like my true X factor is this defensive coordinator. That, in my opinion, is the true X factor. Because number one, we're switching up our entire scheme. I don't even know if these player personnel fits are going to transition appropriately. I'd like to think that they will, but there is going to be growing pains going into it. How I look at the offensive side of the football, like you're still establishing continuity when it comes into play calling, and you still have Josh Allen, who, quite frankly, all four of us could technically be a head coach of a team, having a fucking future Hall of Fame quarterback right as your guy, bringing back your exact same offensive line, your rushing attack, and then like you improved your wide receiver room with DJ Moore. Say what you want about the wide receiver room last year, but we were still top 3 in points per game. So
forgot about that.
It's the defensive side of the football. It's the defensive coordinator who I truly believe makes or breaks this team of moving forward. That's my take on it. Lastly,